Okay, in the second video, we're going to go over specifically the making the poster assignment. I know it went over a little bit of stuff in the lecture material, but I run the course a little bit differently than the last professor, so I'm going to give you a little bit more creative freedom here. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is choosing an event from the list provided on the second and third page of this document, and you're developing an 11 by 17 portrait orientation poster that promotes an event utilizing custom-made imagery and typography. All imagery and primary text must be conceptualized, planned, constructed, staged, and photographed as shown in the examples included in the presentation materials for this module. Primary text and imagery must be large, engaging, and eye-catching. So let's go over the instructions here. So the events I'm going to mention in the PDF are on the next page, but you're also going to have a portion where you have to do some of the ideas and sketch them out. You want to construct the imagery to the best of your ability. You can physically do it, or you can also do it in digital format, meaning, mocking it up in Photoshop, doing photo montages and things like that. It says photograph the imagery outside or in a room with an abundance of natural light. We're going to change this up as well. So you're going to want to save the original photo, but then you're going to be doing some edits in Photoshop to make sure that it's more of a composite image and not just a standard like photo from a camera. So let's kind of get into that. As far as application, it says place the image into InDesign and add the rest of your text elements. I'm fine if you rather do it in Adobe Illustrator. Best practice is usually making sure with typography that you're using a vector-based program, which would be InDesign or Illustrator. So I'm fine with either because in the end you'll be submitting a PDF. Okay? So the specifications, you'll have 4 separate pages. So you don't want to zip it. You want to have the 4 pages in one single PDF document. It's just way easier for me. Your first page, you're going to describe your design solution and how it connects with the event that you chose. Basically make it like a design brief. This was my idea, this is how I did it, this is why I did it, and back up your design, why you made it, how you made it. Okay, the second pages will be where your sketches are for your process. So if you drew out any lettering, or if you did some rough sketches for your layout, that's where those would go. The third page will be any original photos that you used before you took it into Photoshop for editing, and then the fourth page will be the final outcome. Okay, and then of course combining them into a PDF. So of course, graphic design is a competitive field, so therefore meeting or exceeding the following expectations is necessary for success in the course and the field of art and design. I will skip through that because you can read some of it. I'm just going to go over the event choices. So the first event here is a bake-off. So the primary text would say Bay Bake Off. The secondary text, you would be coming up with a tagline for it, and then you have where it is, the date that you would make up, and then you would make up a fake like social website. You could do like a www address if you want, or even if you wanted to put like their Instagram handle, because a lot of companies or smaller meetups might be doing something like that on social media. The second one is the Grand Sand Expo. So it would be a sand sculptor type of event, and then again you have your secondary text and the when and the where and the web address, and you can kind of see what's going on in the PDF there for the other ones. So this is where I throw you the curveball that's not in the actual PDF. If you want to pick your own event, go for it. My big constraint would say try to steer away from anything music related. So no like trance events, or like if U2 was coming, or Queen. I'm just thinking of things off the top of my head, because then you would probably be using band images and you wouldn't have as much creative freedom with just the typography and creating your own images. So I'm open to other events here. If you want to email me, that's totally fine. If you want to clarify, stick to things that are more like events outside, like the sand building competition, or like Sunfest is a big one down here in South Florida. Have some fun with it. You're not limited to just these 4. Okay? So let's go ahead and go over some of the samples that I gave you. So in your announcement for the week that I also will be posting, you'll see I created a mood board on Behance, and I gave some previous student solutions here. These are the ones that I really kind of thought were unique. So just to talk a little bit about, how they created it. So you can see this was for the Sand Expo. So they, they took the beach picture in the background, and they did the stenciling of the actual word sand. And then they had this picture of an octopus that they overlaid, and they did a sand texture on top of that. And then you could see the rest of the backup text there. This one was for, most of them are for the bake-off ones. And so they actually arranged the whole composition for the photo, and they did the stenciling for the actual headline of the poster with their own stenciling. And then you can see here, this is the final outcome. So lots of beautiful negative space down here to really balance out that giant chunky text. And then they came up with Make Your Weekend Sweeter, and then the actual subtext at the bottom. This one took more of a digital approach, except for they made the really cool bridge with the flower. So really fun Bay Bake Off text with all the stuff that you would need up there. And then again, the really fun kind of handmade elements that they did there. Another one. So they did a lot of composition here. Like the cookie sheet wasn't there. They did the shadow on that in Photoshop. They did the Bay Bake Off with like a frosting, and that was its own image that they overlaid in here and did a really nice slight drop shadow, make it kind of pop off the background that they did. Just really nice kind of composition here. Lots of bright. I love the red. It's just really eye-catching as a poster design. And then the last one I have for this is here. Really clean, very different from a lot of the other ones that I saw. So they did the digital stencil out of the flower. And this was a stock image that I believe they used for the background. And then they also showed it in application what it would look like on the street. This is a nice little thing for portfolio. I noticed a lot of the previous student examples forgot this part, but just showing it in application, how an actual client would see it, is always a really nice touch for portfolio. Okay, the other two sites that I gave just for design research was AIGA. I mean, you can always go to the standard Behance or Pinterest, but these were just two that I use personally a lot for design research. So I linked you to the AIGA design archives for posters. I mean, even if you're just looking for a unique color composition, you'll find a lot of stuff here. And then I also gave you Dribbble for poster design. They have a lot of really fun things here and lots of really good templates. So if you're looking for something to kind of paste your poster into, there's lots of good templates that you can find on here too. Okay, and that's what we'll be doing this week. Looking forward to seeing everybody's ideas, and will see you online.